Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas,
Whoa.
guys. Hey, all right. Hey, Alex.
Yes.
I got a question right off the top.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
No.
Is it?
No.
If you think about it, right? Like,
no, I don't want to think about it.
But just shut up for a sec. If you think about it, if you just shut the fuck up for just 1 second.
Just shut the fuck up.
If you just think about it, it takes place, right, similar to the first film, on like Christmas season, like a couple days before Christmas or Christmas Eve, even. I don't remember.
Yeah, I suppose it does. Yes.
And it's in the holiday rush and the hustle and the bustle of the holidays at an airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, there's Christmas music in it. There's some Christmas allusions to Christmas. People talk about Christmas, the holidays, and so on. Doesn't that make it a Christmas movie?
No. Maybe. Yes.
Can a thing be more than one thing at a time?
This is the second Die Hard film.
Right. No, I know. I understand that. I'm just saying, there's a lot of talk about, is Die Hard a Christmas movie, right? Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
It is. Die Hard can be both Die Hard and Die Hard 2.
What? You're not listening to me.
I feel like the level of mental gymnastics that one has to go through to kind of parse through these films is superhuman. And I feel like we should be automatically allowed we should be given Mensa memberships.
Right.
And possibly Nobel Prizes.
To hold two seemingly competing thoughts in your brain at the same time.
Yeah.
That Die Hard 2 is an action movie, first and foremost, and also a Christmas movie.
And also the sequel to Die Hard.
And also the second Die Hard.
Yeah.
Advertised with the famous tagline, Die Harder.
Which was so famous that I thought that was just the subtitle of the film.
That's just what people call it.
Which is
right?
crazy.
Die Hard
it's just
2,
called
Die
Die Hard 2.
Yeah. I forgot to mention this in the last episode. Die Hard Man, the famous video game character from Kojima's Death Stranding.
Yes. I've never played it.
We have a special guest today, Die Hard Man, on the pod.
I thought you were going to say Hideo Kojima.
No, I wish. All we got to do is become famous, and then he'll come knocking.
Yeah, true.
He loves taking pictures with famous people.
Hideo Kojima, Solid Snake, come on the pod.
Yeah, and Kojima, if you listen to the pod and you like us, do us a big solid, scan us into your next game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be someone in Death Stranding too.
I've never played Death Stranding.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a mailman, yeah. Which is why I played it for a little bit and then stopped.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Elden Ring, which recently won Video Game of the Year.
Yes.
So if Miyazaki-san, Hidetaka Miyazaki, and any of the From Software crew want to come on the pod,
totally,
would love to have you on. I don't think they speak much English, but
yeah,
probably enough to talk film franchises.
Totally, yeah. We're not using really advanced syntax on this podcast, as you can tell. I feel like people can pick it up pretty easily.
Though I do feel like you need to be, George Orwell 1984 style, tortured by O'Brien, to like hold in your head that Die Hard can be both an action film and a Christmas film. It's like 2 + 2 = 5.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like it's one of those everlasting questions, those like deep penetrating questions that are always sort of
penetrating questions.
Yeah, right, exactly. Deep, sort of wet questions that keep kind of bouncing around your noggin. Can Die Hard be? Is Die Hard a Christmas? Is the first Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I think we put the nail in the coffin and definitively answered that the first Die Hard is not, in fact, a Christmas movie.
Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
But Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard 2, yeah. Okay, yeah. So
I don't think you can argue that Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie. Die Hard 1 is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. Yeah. And Die Hard 3 takes place during Easter?
I don't know.
I think so.
Oh.
We'll find out. We'll get there. Die Hard 2.
Also released in July of 1990 this time.
July of 1990. Mere months before Alex's birth and my birth.
Yeah, momentous occasions.
Momentous. So we are looking back in time at what the world was like, what the world was very accurately portrayed, kind of docu-realism in Die Hard 2. This was what it was like for our parents right before they had us.
Their lives changed.
Yeah.
For the better.
Of course.
This is also a markedly pre-9/11 movie.
Yes.
Because, like, I don't know. You know how we were talking in the last episode about, it kicked off a trend of, like, Die Hard on a blank?
Yes.
Die Hard 2 is essentially Die Hard in an airport.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Like,
yes, it is. Sorry.
There's some aspects of it, like, Dennis Franz plays like the kind of local airport police officer guy.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
And at the beginning, John McClane, like, he tails two sketchy dudes into like the baggage area, gets into like a big shootout, kills the guy in like a baggage loading thing.
Yeah, very quickly into the movie.
And he's telling Dennis Franz and is like, listen, you got to shut down the airport and everything. Like, I just killed two people. And Dennis Franz is like, oh, during like Christmas, like people trying to get home, so are you crazy?
We can't close the beach just because there's a shark.
And it's like so wild because, like, these days, like, I'll just take a really noxious poo at the airport and they'll close down the, like, they'll shut it all down.
Yeah, how embarrassing is that, right? We've all been there.
Yeah,
it happens.
You poo so bad they close the airport.
They close down. Yeah, they cancel flights during Christmas.
Yeah, because everyone knows it's you too. Everyone's like, es diablo.
I don't know if this is the case for you, but they know it's me because I come out of the washroom and I go, I took a big boom boom. Yeah, and I can't help but telling myself,
I did a poo in the ICU.
I did a poo in the ICU. Everybody, Clerks 3, remember that?
Yeah.
We talked about Clerks 3. Clerks 3, it's we're recording this, in mid-December, and this is going to come out at the end of December and on Christmas Day. But the end of the year lists are coming out. Top 10 best movies of the year.
Yeah.
Best dressed, who wore it best, what's hot, what's not.
Yeah, Clerks 3 is on all of the positive lists.
Clerks 3 is making a lot of top 10 lists. Yeah, not number one, but it's on the list, and I think that's really impressive. No one was expecting it to be
as good as it was.
We loved it. I took a poo in the ICU is now on AFI's top 100 comedy lines of all time or whatever, right up there with Don't Call Me Shirley and all that other junk that's not really funny out of context, which is the thing that always bothered me about that list.
Right, yeah. I miss those AFI lists. They used to have like television specials kind of going over them, and it introduced me like as a kid to like some older movies that would have never been on my radar. Like, because of their list of heroes and villains, I watched Marathon Man.
Oh yeah,
with Laurence
okay.
Olivier as like Dr. Zell or whatever.
Dr. Nazi Man.
Yeah. Is it safe?
It turns out it's not safe.
It wasn't safe.
Yeah.
Actually, it turns out that Dustin Hoffman didn't know that he was completely like interrogating the wrong person.
Yeah, I've seen Marathon Man, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He runs around a lot.
Yeah, he's always training for a marathon.
Total pre-9/11 approach to airport security. That's not debatable. Like, obviously, we've had a lot of discourse here. We've actually started the discourse about, is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
Yeah, that's true.
But one thing that you can't really debate is Die Hard 2 a pre-9/11 movie?
Yes.
But right, we're not talking about set decoration or musical choices or the location of the movie or the whatever. We're talking about cold hard facts. This came out in the summer of 1990, and 9/11 didn't happen until at least 5 years after that, right? So
yeah, it's 11 years before 9/11. So
it's 9/11.
Yeah,
it's 9/11 years pre 9/11.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
like you can't debate that this is a pre 9/11 Christmas movie.
Don't email us and tell us that we're wrong and that 9/11 happened pre Die Hard 2.
Yeah, at thefranchiseespod@gmail.com.
Don't email us that. We're not
Don't
idiots.
do it. Yeah, you're an idiot.
You are an
Listener.
idiot.
Yeah,
You know,
No, we
you know
love
who's not an idiot?
John McClane.
John McClane.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, he may appear a little rough around the edges, but
Yeah.
he's a little psychotic.
Oh my God.
One thing you'd mentioned this just as we were wrapping up, we didn't mention in Die Hard, the first episode, is that the first person he kills, sort of by accident, right? Because they're fighting, and he is being aggressed upon, but
They fall down the stairs.
yeah, and the guy's neck breaks.
Yeah,
So it's not like a super psychotic moment for him.
Carl's brother.
Carl's brother, Florian from Kraftwerk. But that's the body that he sends down in the elevator with the Christmas lights and the Christmas hat and the writing on the sweater. And that's pretty fucked up, right?
It's what does he write? He writes, "Ho ho ho! I have a machine gun.
I've got a machine gun now."
or
Ho,
something.
ho, yeah.
And honestly, if you take that clip out of context and you see like a human with like some written on his body, like his dead body, like I would have thought that was something the bad guys did. That's fucking John McClane, fucking. And we came up. It came up while we were watching Die Hard 2 because like at the end of it, he's just like truly a broken man, and he's like on the runway of this snowy airport in Dulles,
yeah.
and he's just
Dulles
like
International Airport.
laughing maniacally, and he's just completely lost his mind.
Yeah, so in typical action movie sequel fashion, they ramp up a lot of stuff here.
It's bigger.
It's bigger. It's better. It's
louder.
bolder. It's whatever.
Bangier.
It's bangier. Yeah, and he kills a lot more people.
Oh my God.
The terrorists kill a lot more people.
Yeah. The British people. So.
Well, we're gonna get to that. Oh yeah, and John McClane directly kills a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The body count in this movie is huge.
It is actually really high.
Yeah.
And it's a little unfair. Well, no, it's not. It's okay. These are actual terrorists, right? Not fake terrorist bank robbers.
Well, they're fake terrorist ex-military people who are working.
Yeah.
Why don't you give a brief rundown of the plot? I'll let you take this one.
Well, really brief. Because I know we just watched it, but I don't remember it. This is a great movie. It just kind of like it goes in one ear, rattles around for like a couple of seconds, and out the other ear.
It's something I said while we were watching it. Like I like that these movies are like very meat and potato plots. Like there's a little twist here and there, but they're not super contrived, complex.
No. This is not some grand mystery to solve, really.
No, it's meat and potatoes, but it's good meat and potatoes. It's like the Keg quality. Here in Canada, we have a chain called the Keg. That's like, you think because it's like a chain or a franchise, if you will, that it wouldn't be very good. But
we're going to review the Keg franchise. Yummy.
It's actually really good, and the food quality is great, and the
like
service is really good too. Like they treat you well.
Yeah. Only complaint: it's too dimly lit. It's expensive, so it has to be dark in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I like that it's dimly lit because that way you don't have to notice all the horribly ugly people.
That's right. Yes, it is filled with hideous people.
Yeah, like us.
Like us.
Yeah.
Who and I will often, ever since I was, I guess, a teenager or whatever, or a young 20s and living in Kingston and stuff. There was a Keg in Kingston, right?
Yeah.
My
Pat used to work there.
Oh, no way. Yeah. My family used to get me Keg gift certificates for Christmas and things like that. So maybe I'll be opening some up today. Today being in the future on
Christmas
December
Day.
25th. Yeah.
What day is it, sir?
Oh yeah, we haven't even done that. wait until we get to do the Christmas Carol franchise. There's maybe one of the most adapted, right, for stage and screen.
Probably.
There's hundreds of them. Yeah.
There's the old one, and then there's
many old ones.
Muppets Christmas Carol, and then Scrooge,
which is very good.
And then the Robert Zemeckis Christmas Carol,
which is very weird. Yeah. Yes, very strange movie.
What day is it, sir?
That's the best part. Yeah, you there, boy. Yeah. Oh, what, me, sir?
Oh, right, yeah. The little boy doesn't say what day. I was saying that.
What day is it? Yeah.
What?
Today's
Christmas Day.
Oh, it's Christmas, it is. A fine boy, an intelligent boy. That's my favorite part, when he's ranking how good the boy is. Yeah. A plump boy, a tasty boy.
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, as Tiny Tim observed. Yeah, and one of my favorite sentences in the English canon. And Tiny Tim, who did not die, that's a huge twist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know it's coming, but it's just good confirmation, right?
I like
Tiny Tim, who did not die.
I like that he says we should send children to workhouses to decrease the surface population of the earth or something.
Yeah, he's such a bitch. He's so funny. He's so mean, you know? Yeah, so much so that his name Scrooge became synonymous with
the
duck.
The
McDuck. Yeah, I could go for a McDuck sandwich right about now. That'd be good, eh?
McFoie gras.
They're bringing back the McDuck. Did you hear that?
No, what is the McDuck?
It's like a McRib.
Ew.
Yeah.
With duck? I like duck.
I don't actually really like it.
Oh, I like duck.
Yeah, no, I mean, what are we talking about? Duck hard?
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Die Hard, man. That's really good. That's good. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is the Christmas episode, so of course we're talking about
Christmas geese.
We're talking about Christmas geese.
A plump Christmas goose.
Christmas beast, like they have in The Grinch, the original.
Oh
Grinch.
yeah, the roast beast.
Yeah. Go down to the poulterer's and fetch me that turkey hanging in the window. The one as big as me, sir. The very same. One of these days, I'll just do the entirety of Christmas Carol as a podcast.
That'll be great.
That'll be very good. How long? It's a pretty short book. You can probably get through it in like an hour or two, right? I don't know.
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
It's quite a slog. All the voices, yeah.
It's me, Jacob Marley.
Yeah.
Your old partner.
Poor Marley. I feel bad for him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Anyway, this is Die Hard 2, directed by Renny Harlin this time. Yeah.
Also a goat.
A total goat.
Total goat.
Renny Harlin. Now, I told you he was European. Can you guess what country Renny Harlin is from? What is Renny Harlin's nationality?
The Netherlands.
No.
I give up.
Finland.
No way.
That's right.
Wow.
Finland. Yep.
Makes me
Nobody
like the movie
ever thinks about Finland.
Yeah, the Finnish.
So he had made a couple of movies before this, most notably Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, which I think was probably financially pretty successful. Oh, yeah. It was the highest grossing film in the franchise until Freddy vs. Jason. So
holy shit.
Good for him.
Okay, now is Freddy vs. Jason a Nightmare on Elm Street movie or a Friday the 13th movie?
Yeah, I guess
or a Christmas movie.
It's definitely a Christmas movie. I guess it's a crossover, so it's both of them.
No, it can only be one.
I haven't seen it in a really long time. I think it feels more like a Nightmare movie than it does a Jason movie. It's not really either, which is maybe why it's kind of, I don't know.
Shitty.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it in forever. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I saw it when I was like 13 or 14, and it still scared me, I think.
I'm going to get you, bitch!
Yeah. He, right before this, actually the same year, he made The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, the Andrew Dice Clay movie.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, which I haven't seen, unfortunately.
Little Miss Muffet sat on a duffet.
Hey!
Yeah, eating her goods and whey.
It won the Golden Raspberry Award for Best Picture.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we, of course, don't endorse here. There's a bunch of goofballs.
Stop reading his bad movies and tell us some of the gold.
I'm just sort of setting where so that, and then he makes Die Hard 2, right?
Yeah.
After that, a couple years after that, Cliffhanger,
huge.
We
just
Die Hard on a Mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're talking about Die Hard on a Mountain. Cutthroat Island, big disaster, bankrupt. Yeah, he's basically fucked after that.
Don't know it.
But he made The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a really good Shane Black scripted. Shane Black and Stephanie Austin. Oh no, she produced it, but yeah, very good Shane Black script. Nasty, kind of like violent 90s movie, and of course Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's the one that really piqued my interest, because when I was 8 or 9, and Deep Blue Sea was out. What a fun time that was, you know what I mean? Because it was violent and scary, but tolerable for kids, because I guess it was sharks eating people.
Yeah, it's pretty silly too.
It's so silly.
Yeah.
I mean, famously, Samuel L. Jackson has that big speech, and then the shark comes up and eats him.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, well sure. It's very the shark uses, is it Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah.
In the on a gurney?
Yeah.
It rams him into the
is that what it
thing
does?
to break to break the glass.
And isn't there a shot of Stellan Skarsgård right up against the glass, and he's already got his arm bitten off.
Something like that.
The shark bites off his arm. He's after they do the test, he walks around and he's lighting a cigarette and he's like, "We did it. We fucking did it." And then the shark just kind of reaches over.
Oh, yes.
Bites off his arms. That's why they're airlifting him out on the gurney.
Yes, that's right.
And then, the shark... Man, luckily there's a sequel.
I was just looking this up. There's
there
a couple sequels.
Oh, baby. Saffron Burrows?
There's three.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
good.
right. 3 came out in 2020. Wow.
Saffron Burrows, Thomas Jane.
Yep. LL Cool J. Yep.
One of the only people to survive the massacre. Ida Turturro.
Yes, who gets who's one of the first people
she explodes.
It's really funny, actually. Yeah. She gets it's a wave or something hits her, and she's like, ah! Yeah.
I'm so happy that Deep Blue Sea is a franchise.
We're definitely doing Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah,
because that movie is extreme pleasure, waves of pleasure.
Yeah,
and then 2 and 3 are probably total
hilarious.
junk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They're I don't know. I'm trying to be positive. Yeah.
Did he do anything else of note?
He did the movie Driven with Sylvester Stallone as a race car driver. He's like, "Hey, I'm driving really fast."
Never seen it.
It gets slow down. I don't know. I saw it when I was a kid. Driven is one of those movies that's because it came out in 2001. I would have been 10 or 11, and DVDs would have been kind of a new thing. And we would still... I don't think we would go out to the movies a lot.
Mm.
I didn't really start going out to the theater until I was in my later teens, I guess. But in 2001 or whatever, we'd rent a lot of movies from Blockbuster. And we would rent just whatever. Whatever was out without really thinking about it. It kind of bothers me now, right? But I saw tons of movies then that are basically completely forgotten now, Driven, right? And I don't have much to say about it. He's a race car driver. He did Exorcist: The Beginning. He took
You're
over
a big
from.
fan.
No, don't stop saying that.
You're a big fan of that movie.
He took over that movie from my beloved Paul Schrader, and then the movie did poorly. And then the studio was like, "Okay, Paul, why don't you have a crack at it?
We'll release your version.
Yeah, we'll fix it up and whatever." And
also with Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, and it's amazing how different the versions are.
That'll be an interesting episode one day.
We'll have to do both if we do The Exorcist. Paul Schrader's version is better. But it's still probably one of... No, it's not really. It's not a hot take. It's still one of his worst movies.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Stephen E. D'Souza's back for the script with Doug Richardson. It's adapted from Walter Wager's 1987 novel 58 Minutes.
So a different author.
And it not related to Die Hard. Yeah.
but using the characters.
Yes. So,
created by
whatever, Jiminy Cricket.
Harlan Warlock.
Harlan Warlock.
I forget his name.
Roderick Thorpe.
That was it.
Roderick, yeah, fake name, right?
Yeah.
Roderick Thorpe gets some story credit, I imagine, for creating the characters and so on. John McClane is back.
Well, I mean, right off the gate, this movie like punches you in the face.
Yeah.
Like the font for the title, like, well, first of all, like between 88 and 90, I guess, is when 20th Century Fox like upped its intro. So this time the camera actually moves around the big 20th Century Fox logo with the stirring music.
Yeah,
that's one of the best like film like production company intros.
It's iconic
in my opinion. The music's just really good, and the big whatever.
Yeah, totally.
So right off the bat, even with that, it's like, we're bigger, we're better,
yeah,
we're bangier.
Yep.
And then the font of the movie, the title, it like the first one kind of had a slower opening credit scrawl, like
yeah,
it just comes up over a while.
Font, basically, right?
But it just slams in from either side, like from the left and the right.
It's like getting,
Die
it's like
Hard
getting
2.
shot.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. It's
and there's like a loud
boom,
musical.
boom,
yeah.
Die Hard 2.
Yeah, there's no voice, but there should have been.
Yeah,
like, it should have been like Hulk Hogan.
It's
like,
basically like
Die Hard 2, brother.
Die Hard 2, brother. Yeah, it is. It's super intense.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like
yeah,
and then it's like smash cut to John McClane. He's flustered. He's right back in his element, being a goofy guy, trying not to disappoint his wife. And yeah, like this one is really funny because, like we were talking about in the first Die Hard, it's all about him reconciling with his estranged wife, his redemption through extreme violence.
Yeah.
Please let me kill so I can prove to my wife that I love her, right? In this one, his wife is in it. Bonnie Bedelia is back. She's on an airplane. He's at the airport to pick her up, right? And then he pretty much immediately gets wind of this, like something's not right. There's a terrorist plot going on here. And it's funny because in Die Hard, he's at the Christmas party in Nakatomi Plaza, and the terrorists show up, and he's like thrust into this situation immediately and caught kind of unawares, doesn't even have his shoes on, right? And in this one, it's like he goes looking for it.
Yeah.
Like he sees some shifty looking guys, and then he's like, I'm gonna follow them and see what happens.
Yeah, and he doesn't need redemption.
No,
him and his wife are good.
Things
They're
are
in
fine.
love. Yeah, she's no longer a Gennaro. She's all McClane.
She's all McClane. She's maybe she still has a job, and he wasn't like, you don't have to work anymore, baby. but he's like he's seeking out the confrontation.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it's also like he's, now he's killing for himself. He's killing for his own sick sexual pleasure.
Yeah, 100%. There were a couple times I was watching it where I was like, you can kind of see the outline of a boner in John McClane's pants.
Yeah, you could tell.
It's like that scene towards the end of Breaking Bad. Well, like one of the last episodes when, like, Walter White, he's gone full Heisenberg, and he's talking to Skyler. And it sounds like he's about to say, like, I did it for you guys and stuff. And she was like, no, like, I don't want to hear how you did it for us. And he was like, no, I did it for me.
I did it for me. I'm rock hard.
Yeah, he just, like, admits that he broke bad and turned evil because it gave him a thrill. And I think what happened is in Die Hard 1, John McClane developed an insatiable bloodlust.
Yes.
And, it'd been 2 years since he got to, like, murder someone. So he's kind of, like, sniffing it out like a bloodhound. And, he does have that bloodhound face, that famous Bruce Willis bloodhound face.
Yep.
And he fucking found it.
Yeah.
And was responsible for the deaths of...
Okay. In Die Hard, he kills 10 people. That's a lot of people. Right? Mm-hmm. Die Hard 2, what do you think? It's less than I thought, unfortunately.
35?
It's 24.
Oh, wow.
That's what diehard.fandom.com says.
I guess there's just like a lot of death. Like maybe John McClane doesn't like directly kill people, but when
he kills the... We're not... spoilers, but...
They've been watching along.
Of course you've seen this movie. When he blows up the airplane full of terrorists, that's like...
That's at least...
10
right
people
there,
in there.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway... so the villains, we've got basically the villain is Oliver North, right? But it's what is his name in the movie?
Esperanza.
No, well, Esperanza.
Colonel like Sanders or something.
Colonel Sanders. Colonel William Stewart.
Okay, Stewart.
Yes. Who is like a disgraced general who has been caught up in a big Oliver North Iran-Contra-esque scandal. Supporting a evil General Ramon Esperanza, who is like a drug trafficker and dictator of like a South American nation, presumably. And I think Stephen E. D'Souza, I imagine the bad guys are different in the novel 58 Minutes. Because I had read that Stephen E. D'Souza had wanted to, make the bad guys in this one like right-wing American military guys, like Oliver North and Iran-Contra, which is very funny and very timely because, like, if the first Die Hard is kind of like a reactionary Reagan text, right? Then this one is like, for like a full-blooded American macho bullshit action movie, the bad guys being right-wing American generals, gun nuts, and like anti-communists and so on is kind of cool, right?
It's implied they're like helping General Esperanza for like a lot of money, but at one point Colonel Sanders Stewart also says that like he's against the communists or something, and it's just like okay.
And they're gonna go and flee to like an island somewhere and live their way as weird right-wing guys, I guess. And like some of them, the guy that John McClane kills at the beginning of the movie, horrifically in the baggage sorter. Yes. The movie is much more violent, right? I think so.
He kills this man, and then he takes his fingerprints and sends them to our buddy, Al Powell, who's now like sergeant of the LAPD or something.
Yes, his career.
He still loves Twinkies.
Yeah, he loves Twinkies. He's a big round man, and he loves Twinkies. And his career is completely redeemed after shooting and killing a child. He then shot and killed a Bolshoi ballet dancer. / terrorist.
So they promoted him.
So they gave him a promotion. That's all you got to do.
And he sends the fingerprints to Al, and Al runs them through and finds out that it's a military man who's actually been like recorded dead for 2 years.
Yes, so these are all like ghosts or whatever.
They're like right-wing gun nuts who ostensibly have all like fake their own deaths. This is very like Call of Duty Modern Warfare style, is,
right? It's all very like
which is also timely because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the reboot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 actually came out not too long ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I was never really into those games.
Yeah, me neither, but I'll probably play it at some point.
Yeah, maybe I will too. I like nice games where people are nice to each other, like Death Stranding. You walk around and you deliver packages to people.
The pandemic turned me into such a gamer.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, my life's never been better.
When Alex says it's turned him into a gamer, his life's never been better, what he's saying is not so much that he plays more video games. He's saying gamer is like a political ideology.
No, totally. I sign up to all that stuff.
Gamergate.
Gamergate and whatever else they're doing.
Not showering. And, being awful online.
No.
Who else is in here? Yeah, like you said, we have Dennis Franz as a real New York City cop, but in Virginia, I guess.
Yeah.
Do
you want to do the honorary Simpsons quote with the Homer Simpson story?
You play the girl and I'll play Dennis Franz.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Simpson, no, a cat's a living animal.
I don't care.
What does he say?
Let me grab some sweet.
Right. No, she's like, Mr. Simpson, if you touch me, I'm going to scream so loud
Oh yeah, they'll hear it in Washington or something. Or
he says that.
Yeah, he
yeah.
says, yeah, what in Washington?
Even the man in the White House.
Yeah, not likely. Yeah,
yeah.
Dennis Franz, notable for The Simpsons, NYPD Blue. I guess
Yep.
never really watched it, but
Me neither.
he's iconic for that. And he plays. This is pretty much the character he plays in that, right? Like brash cop guy. I mean, he's probably more competent in that show.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He starts this movie as like, not very competent. Like this is going to be John McClane's antagonist on the police force in this one, like Paul Gleason, the Breakfast Club principal in Die Hard 1.
Yes.
But then he winds up becoming an ally.
Yes. Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
He's a John McClane ally.
He is a John McClane ally. Yeah. Yeah. We're all John McClane allies. Until we get to the movies that aren't good.
No, yeah. If I'm going to keep it 100 with you,
I assume you always do.
Oh, that's your first mistake.
Yeah,
I've been lying this whole time.
Snake in the grass.
Yeah. No, I actually, enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the dialogue hokier? Yes.
Yes.
Is
It's
it
more violent.
It's more violent.
Yes.
It's like definitely more like outlandish.
It's a lot sillier.
Yeah, it's like less substantial.
Substantive, yeah.
Yeah.
Substantial, both words.
Whatever.
Both are real words. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of fun. Like, do I think Die Hard 1 is like a better movie? Yes.
Yes.
But I didn't hate this at all. Like I quite liked it. Yeah.
I think Die Hard 2 is lots of fun. Yeah. It's like you said, it's the big, dumb, goofier sequel.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad movie. It's it's very entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that, like, Die Hard 1, we were watching it and you can clearly tell, like, the moments where the crowd's probably cheering and stuff, and then to watch Die Hard 2, 2 years later, and it's the bigger, badder sequel, and there are like a few fan service moments, which makes sense because Die Hard would have been like fresh in people's minds, like people would have wanted to see these characters again. Like when they introduce Al Powell, he's like, it's a close-up like on him like opening a Twinkie, right? So like you could picture like people in the crowd like cheering or like,
it's the Twinkie guy.
Yeah, there's a moment where like John McClane says something like,
hey, put that Twinkie down.
No, no, he's like, oh, this always happens to me or something. Like, I can't believe this is happening again.
Yes, so there's something funny here. It's actually some dumb like Die Hard 2, 5 things it got right and 5 it got wrong from Screen Rant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Right, John McClane's characterization. Okay, what? That
Sure.
just that he's still playing the same guy, basically.
A good guy who's very
he's talking
good
to
at
himself. But
who becomes like completely unhinged by the end of it.
Very much so. Wrong, copying the original's premise. Now I have to disagree here.
Yeah.
The point of these Die Hard sequels is that it's the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make even when he and Holly reunite at the end. She says something. She's like, "Why does this always happen to us?"
Yeah,
and it's another like funny meta moment.
They're following it up right here with another meta commentary on the repetition.
There you go.
See, they just keep. They're going back and forth on.
But yeah, doesn't that one kind of like diffuse the last wrong?
Well, okay, they're saying this. As long as it's going to repeat the premise, at least they don't ignore it and they add a layer of meta commentary. This is not film criticism. This is listicle. These people. It drives me crazy. But at the same time, it's kind of funny. And that's a line that McClane says when he pretty early on when he's like going into like this whatever sub basement of the airport, and he's like, "How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice?"
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I like when he turned to the camera and went, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
yeah. I'm altogether too old for this shit. The rest of the junk is stupid junk. It's
nothing worth.
Not really. They don't like the fan service. They love the villains.
I kind of like the fan service. Like watching it in 2022 immediately after Die Hard 1.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we did watch these in the same day. We're trying to record ahead of the holiday season. You're listening to it in the future. And I hope Christmas, I hope we have a nice white Christmas. And there's no nuclear war and peace and love and all that other stuff.
Peace and love, man.
No more letters. Peace and love.
I kind of like watching like fan service from like, the early 90s, late 80s in 2022 is kind of fun, It's like when you see a movie from that time and like a cameo from someone relevant at that moment, like it's neat to see, because like so much of like modern humor and modern comedies is like cameo based, you know what I mean? Like talking about Clerks
Marvel
3
stuff. Oh yeah, Clerks 3.
It's
sure.
like, oh look, it's like this guy or whatever. It's the Impractical Jokers. And it's
God, that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's so like lazy and stuff. So, but that's how it's going to age. It's kind of like a time capsule. Like, oh, look at this. Like I love, speaking of another airplane disaster movie, Airplane, where one of the pilots is just Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
And like that's like a really fun cameo from back then, like in a big comedy movie. Like that probably like cracked people up in the theaters. And
definitely,
I like imagining them. I like imagining people in the 90s and 80s like watching these movies and just like pointing at the screen and
that's John McClane.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think like when we say fan service now, we think almost exclusively of like Marvel comic book junk.
Clerks 3.
Yeah, Clerks 3. Yeah, I guess it's just Clerks 3 is a weird example because it's like the fans of those movies are very, very unique group of people. Yeah. Whereas Marvel is like the whatever the omniculture or whatever. What are we talking about?
The cinematic omniverse.
Yeah, whatever. And when I think of fan service, I think of like the like cringy Star Wars sequels or the Marvel movies doing this and that, or people fucking watching the Ryan Reynolds movie Free Guy, and he has the Captain America shield, and there's that video of them in the theater being like, oh my god, it's a thing from another movie in this movie, right? And they're freaking out. And like fan service in the case of these Die Hard movies is like it's different, right? It makes it doesn't feel strained, right? It feels kind of natural. Like the movie has kind of a meta sequel texture to it that is not really overdone that much. It's not like parodic in any way, and it just kind of feels like I'm not saying it's fresh or really original or really particularly clever, but the jokes are funny, and Bruce Willis is still like in the zone, right? I know, whether you like him or not, like he's still like operating at top level here, right?
Yeah, I actually didn't mind him in number 2.
You kind of like him in number 2.
Yeah, I'm like coming around.
He's more quippy too, like, and he's kind of funnier in this movie. It's
I guess he's got more confidence because he saved Nakatomi Plaza. So he's kind of like ready to fuck.
Yeah, he is. He's totally
He's sniffing it out.
He's totally psychotic. Like the angle with which to view this movie is like. It's no longer this like right-wing fantasia of like I've got to kill these foreign terrorists so my wife will love me again. And now it's like I did that already, and now I've had 2 years of domestic bliss and I'm bored and I gotta go. I'm just waiting for this to happen again.
No, for sure. I think the like seeds of his psychopathy were like already in Die Hard 1 because like there are scenes with like a bit of tension between him and his estranged wife, but she's like, she sees him, she's like happy to see him, and she's like, oh, you should stay with me over the holidays, we have a guest room. She's not inviting him to sleep in her bed, but like I think they probably could have reconciled without like all the murder and the terrorists and the incident. But like I guess lucky for him that it did happen, so they could reconcile and reconnect on that very night. on Christmas Eve, the ultimate Christmas gift.
Yeah, exactly. Their marriage is saved.
But yeah, it's like it probably would have been okay anyway, but he just kind of thrives when he's committing mass murder. Like,
oh yeah, he's in his element when he is killing terrorists or bank robbers or whoever else.
Yeah, just people,
bad guys.
When he's shedding blood.
Guys.
Yeah, he even says that at one point. I think he has like a bit of a square off with General Esperanza, and he's like, all I know is that you're one of the bad guys and I'm a good guy. You know what I mean? Like, he just views the world in such black and white terms.
That shot I was talking about, where it's like the first film to use digitally composited live action footage with a traditional matte painting, that's what I think, that had been photographed and scanned into a computer. That's the very last shot, which we kind of were maybe not paying as much attention to, where they have the actual live action people walking around, and then they pull out and there's all those planes that have landed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought it was for the end, but that's just green screen. Like, that's just a different. That's not a traditional matte painting
sequence. What's happening in this movie is that Colonel Sanders and his right-wing gun nuts take over like a church near an airport, Dulles.
Yep.
And they somehow hack into all of the airport's like controls that they then have control over in this headquarters in this church, and they're trying to get this plane holding General Esperanza to land, and all these other planes are just kind of circling, waiting for a time to land, and eventually
they're running out of fuel.
Yeah, they're running out of fuel. It's a race against time. Eventually, General Esperanza lands, and then John McClane kind of, has a showdown with him, like in and out of the plane, just as it's there, because he's on the runway for some reason. He's being a total badass. He gets in the cockpit, and they kind of like lock him in, and then they kind of like shoot out the windows of the plane and lob grenades in, the slowest timer grenades ever, because they lob like 6 grenades in, and before any single one of them can explode, John McClane actually gets into the pilot's chair and ejects himself from the cockpit to escape the grenade explosion. And that looked like it might have been like
I mean, it's it's
a silly shot.
You can see the seams a little bit. It's pretty silly, but it's funny because he's like, and then when he gets close to camera, you can see him like recoiling from the flames, and he's like, shit.
Yeah, no, it is awesome.
It is pretty awesome, and of course the ending, So there's a twist where like the specialty army guys who've come in to help McClane and the airport people.
They're working for Esperanza.
They're working for Esperanza. Yeah.
All
the military people in this movie are right wing, reactionary, like anti-communist. Like whatever. Oliver North-esque.
Paramilitary. I guess they are the military.
They are the military. It's funny. And so there's a bit of a twist there. And basically, like at the end, all the bad guys are getting into a plane to fly off. John McClane's in the newscopter. There's a reporter played by Sheila McCarthy, a Canadian actress from the Canadian classic I've Heard the Mermaids Singing.
Of course.
Which is very cool to see her in a movie. I guess like a big Hollywood movie. I'm not sure. I don't think she's in a whole lot of Hollywood movies like that. So that was kind of neat.
General Esperanza had a star-studded gang of henchmen. Like there was Robert Patrick and a young John Leguizamo.
Two in pretty small roles. Yeah, John Leguizamo's on the plane at the end. Right?
Robert Patrick dies quite early on.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, John McClane.
But he's got he's got a meaty line, right? Where he's like, "You're a sitting duck,"
You're right. Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Anyway.
And Franco Nero, of course, Django himself is the
Django Unchained.
Django Unchained as well is the corrupt General Esperanza. Yeah. So they're on the plane. John McClane's like, "Lower me in this helicopter." He jumps on the wing. He fights with the other colonel. There's so many of these guys. Who are we talking about? Major Grant. That's the guy who we think is a good guy, and turns out he's not. He's also in Coming to America. Oh, and I guess he was on The West Wing as well, and Good Times. There's a lot of people in this movie.
It was a big movie.
And he's beating him up. He sends him through the turbine, which is also quite violent. Yeah, and also previously he
stabs
the guy in the eye with
icicle
right through the eye, and it's pretty it's violent. You see it.
It's graphic. Yeah,
it's graphic. Icicle's killing, I think, also in Cliffhanger at some point a few years later.
He's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
This guy.
Anyway, he fights with Colonel Stewart.
And then at some point, like, oil starts leaking from
he pulls the fuel release, which is on the wing. And Colonel Stewart kicks him off the plane and thinks he's won. They go back in. They're celebrating. They're puffing on cigars.
They're literally smoking on cigars.
Really
and you made the Simpsons reference. Gentlemen, to evil.
To evil.
Camp Krusty.
I've created a drug 5 times more addictive than marijuana. Swank.
Oh,
yeah,
I remember that.
It's all part of that scene, baby.
No, the to evil scene, isn't that Camp Krusty when all the camp counselors are hanging out in like their bunk and they're like eating like a roast and they're like,
oh, maybe I thought it was from the McBain movie thing.
Might be in both.
Maybe it's in both.
Yeah.
Franchise the franchisees pod at gmail.com. Email us.
Yeah, let us know.
We could look it up right now, but we're not going to.
No, we want to hear from you.
I want to hear from you. And you're thinking, oh well, John McClane, like, I guess they're going to run out of fuel. Oh no. He's really busted again, like in the first movie. He gets pretty beat up in this movie.
He's
he's
broken China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he takes out his Zippo. He lights the stream of fuel that catches up to the plane and explodes the plane.
Yeah, he says, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. He says it to no one in particular.
To himself.
It's only for his own self
and
satisfaction.
Then the plane explodes. All these like corrupt military people like die, and he just starts howling with laughter on the snow on the tarmac,
rolling around laughing,
covered
like
in blood.
Maniac.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty great. Like, in many ways, this movie is more fun than the first Die Hard because it's a little bit more unhinged.
It's totally unhinged, but you can tell, like, because then he's stumbling around the tarmac, he's calling out for Holly, like he finds her, Holly. He like finds her, they like embrace, like. The movie itself isn't like, aware of how unhinged and like broken this man should be. You know what I mean? Like he's still kind of the hero. Like he's laughing and the audience is laughing along with him in 1990. But like these days you're watching it and you're like, get this man to like a mental hospital. Like this man is not well.
No, he's totally...
Within the span of 2 years, he's had 2 run-ins with terrorists.
How could the same thing keep happening to the same guy so many freaking times?
He's a broken man.
Yeah, he's totally has a mental break at the end.
You know what he is? He's completely emblematic of the persevering power of the American spirit.
Yes, I agree. The blue-collar, working man American spirit.
You can't break him.
No. He doesn't need no freaking psychiatrist.
All he needs is a pack of Marlboros.
Yep.
And a cool bud.
Yeah. Maybe even a Coors Light.
And his favorite Garth Brooks album.
Yeah, of course. One thing we forgot to mention that is also pretty fucked up in this movie is when the terrorists are trying to prove that they mean business. And they want to escalate things. They want to show you that they're not fucking around. Mm-hmm. They interfere with one of the the communication signal to one of the circling planes that needs to land, and they mess up its instruments so that the plane thinks that it's like 200 feet difference from where it's actually landing, and they crash that fucking plane into the ground. A plane full of men, women, and children, but they're all British. They're British. So it's like, it's not really.
Who's the guy who plays the pilot of
it's Cole Meany.
Yeah, who's
from
great.
Star Trek, yeah.
Or he plays Aldous Snow's dad in Get Him to the Greek.
Oh, really?
Who gives Jonah Hill the Jeffrey.
I guess that's also a franchise, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall again with the Greek.
Great.
Yeah, that was like a really
brutal.
Yeah, that was the first moment where I mean, it wasn't the first moment, but that was a real moment where you just kind of sat back and went, man, die harder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. How many hostages are killed in Die Hard? There's the boss.
Ellis.
There's Ellis. What? That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
2 people, and one of them was a crazy cokehead.
A plane full of innocent Brits.
Yeah, a plane full of nice, well-meaning, innocent...
Fish and chips loving.
Yeah, pip cheerio.
Yeah, Arsenal fans.
Arsenal fans, yeah. Lorry drivers.
Mm-hmm. Chimney sweeps.
Biscuit lovers.
Scrooges.
Yeah, a couple of probably... Honestly, you get a full plane, you're probably going to have a couple of Scrooges, right? Yeah. What are you going to do? What else do they like over there? Jaffa cake aficionados.
I can't even imagine how many Jaffa cakes were destroyed in that explosion.
When he goes up, John McClane is desperately, he's out there, he's got lit torches, he's doing the air traffic controller thing, like, no, the plane crashes anyway. It's awful. It's a huge explosion. And it looks like everybody dies. And he walks up into the wreckage, and he sees a packet of Jaffa cakes, smoldering Jaffa cakes, and he pulls one out and he eats it. Yeah. And he's like, "Ooh, like these are actually pretty good when they're warmed up."
He's like, "You'll pay for this."
You'll pay for this.
It's like a cookie with marmalade.
Yummy. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
It is fun. And to go, I just want to say, when we were talking about, fan service, it's a different form of fan service. It's an older form of fan service where movies would kind of like take something that worked in the first one and kind of like do it again in the second one, but in a knowing like bigger way. But yeah, I don't know. I like the like kind of old school types of fan service. And, let's compare Die Hard 2 to Paranormal Activity 2.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It's like, sure, on the whole, Die Hard 2, I would not say is a better movie than the first Die Hard. It's bigger, it's louder, it's dumber.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun. Paranormal Activity 2 was bigger, louder, dumber. And I guess just because of what Paranormal Activity was, it was worse.
Yes.
Because you can't do bigger, dumber, louder and do the same thing as Paranormal. The Paranormal Activity 1 worked because it was quiet and small and low.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there's just something too about how the way that big budget movies were made in the late 80s and 90s and into the 2000s, where like they are all shot on film. They all have, because of that, have a certain budget that has to be met, certain requirements, certain level of craft that has to be met just to actually like capture images and all this other stuff. There's a look and a feel to these films, like aesthetically, that makes things released now straight to Netflix or whatever look just like garbage, right? And like that makes things so much easier to digest. Like I think you're right. First and foremost, it's that like the type of movie that Paranormal Activity is, and the type of sequels that followed, trying to repeat it and to build on it. Like they didn't have to. There's not really anywhere to go from the first one. The first one is scary because it's simple, like you were saying. And when they try to go big and to kind of blow it up and to add more lore and to do this other stuff,
the lore is what did it.
It just fucking sucks, right? And with this one, like we're gonna find out, these movies get fucking shitty,
of course,
pretty quick.
But I'm just so happy that we've watched 2 now, and like there hasn't been. Ew. Sorry.
It's all right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That drop off.
Yeah.
Because like we watched PA1. almost instantly the next week we were very
Nosedive.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, a plane full of British people driven by Colm Meaney right into the fucking ground.
Baggage full of Jaffa cakes. Like just
Flaming Jaffa
the
cakes.
tarmac was littered with Jaffa cakes.
You hate to see it.
It's nice that, no, it's not a better movie, but it was still fun. Like I'm still happy.
The drop off between 1 and 2 is not nearly as steep as Paranormal Activity 1 and 2.
Next week, guys, make sure you keep up and play along and watch Die Hard with a Vengeance, and we'll see you there with our inflammatory sandwich boards.
Yeah, get ready, everybody. Get out your sandwich boards and write something nice on it for a change.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Don't spread messages of hate.
And email us at thefranchiseespod@gmail.com with your messages of peace and love.
Yes, yeah. Please email us a Christmas email. If you write anything to us, we'll say it. We'll read it on the show.
Sure, yeah.
Anything. This is a free speech zone, baby. No, up yours, woke moralists.
No more woke bullshit.
Yeah, we will read anything you write. No, please, for the love of God, don't write us any stupid Elon Musk bullshit. Don't write us anything dumb. We're not going to read it. We'll block you. We'll send the FBI after you, or CSIS, or
the
whatever.
RCMP,
John McClane,
Scotland Yard.
Yeah. Well, you'll get a knock on the door from John McClane. He'll say, "Hey, don't send me emails.
I'm sick and tired of your emails.
Sick and tired of your emails."
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. One more question: is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
I think you can say without a shadow of a doubt that Die Hard 2 is not a Christmas movie.
What do you mean
without
a shadow? What do you mean? What do you mean without a shadow of a doubt?
I mean, I think it's not up for debate. It's not a Christmas movie.
It's not up for debate?
Die Hard 1 is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie as well. Die Hard 2 take part of the joke of him being in the same exact situation is that it's also happening at Christmas again, right?
No.
Doesn't that make it even crazier?
No, but you're dealing with airports technically, are out of time.
Interesting.
Different times.
Liminal spaces. That's something people say sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. People coming and going, international date lines are crossed.
At Christmas time.
Does Christmas exist in a vacuum?
Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
I don't think it is.
Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie, though?
I wouldn't say so, no.
But it takes place at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I don't.
Is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?